Hi guys, so I am back. I wanted to add on to last week's video, and then we'll start talking a little bit about buying things cash and what's important for you to start buying in terms of assets. What are the things that you should be investing in that are ultimately going to be assisting you? What I wanted to add on about business is that people keep asking me, where do we find funding for our businesses? And the reality of life is that not everyone is going to give you funding, because getting funding, even from these institutions, is so hard. They've got so much red tape to get to giving you funding that it almost is an impossible task for you to find funding. So how do you go about then trying to see what is the best way for you to fund your business? Number one, find a cash cow type of business. This is it's a low capital, but like a low capital business, but it has great results, or it yields great profits. So you need to find something that ultimately does not need you to put in a lot of money for you to actually run it. Give you an example, the business I ran back in 2011, it was called Cool Kids Coaching. What we did is we found schools that needed sports coaches, and then we found sports coaches that needed sports coaching jobs, and we put those two together. Easy, right? Exactly. What we did then is that a coach would say, I want 200 Rand per hour. We would then go to the school and say to the school, okay, we would like to charge you guys 300 Rand for our coach per hour. Then we pay the coach 200 Rand and we keep 100 Rand. That's how you ultimately start creating a cash cow business. Okay? So now you understand what a cash cow business means. It's a business that's going to assist you in building the type of capital that you need for you to run that business that you ultimately want to run. So if you are craving, or you've got desires of running, a salon or a restaurant, you need to find yourself a cash cow business. Or you could go to family, but we'll talk about family and friends and finding funding from those people on another stage. That's just all I really wanted to add. But then also what I wanted to add is that not every single business needs funding. Sometimes you need to rethink your business. And also, guys, if you have a great business idea, find ways in which you can execute it. I always ask this question, how many of us thought of that mobile liquor store? How many? And not a lot of us executed. There are people who've executed, and congratulations to them. But there's a lot of us who had those great ideas. You are going to be sitting on those ideas until somebody else executes your ideas. And then you're going to say, oh, people stole my idea. No. Because at the end of the day, really, business ideas are not that original. And that's something also we need to understand as human beings. Businesses are all recycling. We all recycle. What's the saying? It's not about who did it first, it's about who did it well. You must also remember that. Okay, swiftly moving to buying assets and how you buy stuff cash. So when I started working, I decided that I don't want to buy anything on Sekoloto. Well, let me tell you, that was not an easy road. Back in 2013, when I changed jobs, so I moved from being a teacher, earning 8,000 Rand, to being a PR intern, earning 4,000 Rand. I had absolutely what is it when you have extra cash? Whatever, the word has just escaped me right now. But I had no that capital. When you've got extra money, I had zero. So first and foremost, I couldn't save. I could not actually buy anything cash. But I decided that I can't afford anything. I can't afford anything. So what's the plan? Don't buy anything. So if you really know for a fact that there are certain things that you really cannot afford cash, don't buy them. And that's the beauty of buying things cash. Now, Sekoloto, guys, is something that obviously is sometimes unavoidable. But there are certain things in life that you need to go into Sekoloto for. I mean, really, guys. Some of the things that you guys are in Sekoloto for are just shocking. And it's some of the things that I was in Sekoloto for. There was a time when I was actually in Sekoloto for a gym, and I wasn't even going to the gym. I actually was owing the gym money, and I wasn't attending. Why didn't I just cancel that gym membership? Lord knows. Why I didn't go? Lord knows. So sometimes we get ourselves into stupid debts. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Cell phone contracts. How many people are actually in debt because of cell phone contracts? Guys, there's that red shop, that's got a red square, and it's a whole group of shops. The other one is a 3-letter word. The other one is, it has all these celebrities that do their shopping campaigns. That company will get you into debt. Most of our mothers and fathers are in debt because of that one company. Everybody knows that one company. Don't don't go to a shop and just get a clothing account, guys. Actually, these days you really don't need a clothing account because at the end of the day, kuyafana impahla. Yes, kunempahla ezidurayo ezimbi. There's some really, really expensive clothes that are ugly as fuck. So really, you need to learn to put your clothes together, and please buy your clothes cash. I mean, really, like honestly, impahla, guys, we need to be buying our clothes cash. Now, obviously, I'm talking about the small things, but things like a car. If you really can, my father always says, if you can't afford that car twice, don't buy it. If you can't afford a car cash, wait until you can have a huge deposit. Because let me tell you, anybody who gives credit will make sure that you get that credit. The useless credit, of course. So things like cars, things like clothes, things like laptops, furniture, they will make sure that you get that credit and they'll make sure that you get it. Have you ever worked with a car salesman who says to you, you can't really afford the Mercedes-Benz, but just submit your documents and we'll try it out? That nigga's gonna make sure that you can afford that Mercedes-Benz. Then the one day when you go to bank and you wanna buy that 900,000 rand apartment, all of a sudden you can't afford it, and there's not even a chance to say, oh no, submit your documents. They just tell you, oh sorry ma'am, you're overcommitted. That's the other thing. Even if you have a lot of money, let's say you are earning over 60,000 rand a month. If you've got too many Sekolotos, you will not, disposable income, that's what it's called, disposable income. You will not be able to get credit to buy that house, even if you can afford it, because they're going to tell you are overcommitted. Ask me, I know, I went through that this year trying to get a bond to buy a house. It was terrible. But in any case, going back to buying things cash. So what I do really well is that I save a lot of money. But it worked out for me because realistically, I tried to keep my Sekolotos very, very low. My debt was very low. I actually cut up my credit cards back in 2014 while they had credit on them because I was like, you know what, this credit card life, all it's going to do is just get you stuck. Have you ever been in an overdraft where your salary comes in, overdraft, then you're back in living into overdraft? So you're like, ultimately, when you're always on a minus. Yes, you say your overdraft limit is up to like 50,000. You're always sitting at the minus 28,000 rand, minus 32,000 rand. Every time your salary comes in, it becomes a balance 0-0. And then again, you start spending that money and you go back to a minus. Don't do that. Don't live in an overdraft. It's really not necessary. Sometimes you need to just look at your budget and see where you can cut things. And I know that debt is hard. You need to start off with the small debts. Try and clear those ones. Don't do debt consolidation, guys. That is a trap that banks use to get you into more debt. Do not fall for the bank consolidation bullshit crap. Don't fall for that. In any case, back to buying things cash. Try to buy everything cash, but also try to save. Save as much as you can from your salary. If it means that you have to cut up your credit cards, cut out a bit of takeaways for a few months. Guys, even if you pay an additional amount, that's what I'm going to move to, pay additional amounts to your debt. So if your debit order, let's say for your clothing account is 500 rand, try to pay an additional 200 rand every month. It will make a huge change in your life, right? So that's what you must first do. Try get as much debt out of your life as possible so that you got more disposable income to actually save. Save a lot of money. And when you start buying things, buy them cash. And if you can't buy them cash, put a huge chunk of a deposit. Luckily for me, people need to understand also is the fact that I have a business and then also I had a salary. So together those two things really did assist me in buying things, a lot of my things cash, right? That's the first thing. But you can also buy homes on other people's money. You can buy property on other people's money. I read of a guy who had 20,000 rand in his pocket when he was 23 years old. And by age 27, he had 4 properties. 4 properties, all on other people's money. Because let me tell you, once you start getting assets, the bank loves you. They love you and they trust you. They actually think that you can manage your money. Little do they know, sometimes it's just luck. There's no, I can manage my money. There's no, I can manage my assets. So anyway, ultimately what I'm trying to say today is that you guys need to learn to save. But the only way you can save realistically is if you have disposable income. And the only way you can get disposable income is to make sure that you pay the debts that you've got. So stop, breathe, You are not dying. It's not the end of the world. Start by seeing where you can start paying off your debts as quickly as possible and adding additional amount. Sometimes it also helps. Just pick up the phone and tell the creditor, yes, it's in there. This month, I won't be able to pay. Strus pop. Please, I really appreciate you guys can freeze my accounts and not put it in arrears. Because that will assist you. There are people who actually can do it. There are people who can get you there if you just go and get the help that you need in terms of e-dates.